Once a mighty empire spanning 3 continents, the Russian Empire rose to power through conquest and ambition, only to crumble under revolution and war. From imperial glory to total collapse, this is the story of a dynasty that shaped history. Welcome to the Russian Empire. From glory to collapse. The Russian Empire, one of the largest and most powerful empires in world history, spanned over 3 centuries, from 1721 to 1917. It was a period of territorial expansion, political upheaval, and eventual collapse, leaving a lasting impact on global history. The rise of the Russian Empire. The origins of the Russian Empire trace back to the Grand Duchy of Moscow, which gradually expanded its influence. In 1721, following the conclusion of the Great Northern War against Sweden, Tsar Peter I, Peter the Great, proclaimed the Russian Empire, ushering in an era of modernization and military strength. Peter the Great implemented sweeping reforms, westernizing Russian society, strengthening the military, and establishing St. Petersburg as the new capital. He also restructured the government, introducing administrative divisions and encouraging advancements in science and technology. Subsequent rulers, including Catherine the Great, 1762 to 1796, continued to expand Russia's borders through military conquests and diplomatic strategies. Under her rule, Russia gained vast territories, including parts of Poland, Crimea, and lands along the Black Sea. Catherine the Great was also a patron of the arts and education, fostering cultural and intellectual development. The empire continued to grow in the 19th century, extending into Central Asia and the Caucasus, solidifying its position as a dominant European and Asian power. The empire challenges and decline. Despite its expansion and power, the Russian Empire faced significant internal and external challenges. The vastness of its territory made governance difficult, and its diverse population included numerous ethnic and religious groups, often leading to tensions and uprisings. The serfdom system, which kept millions of peasants in poverty, further contributed to instability. Social inequality remained a major issue, with the nobility holding extensive privileges while the majority of the population struggled with economic hardships. The early 19th century saw Russia's involvement in the Napoleonic Wars, where it played a crucial role in defeating Napoleon. However, the Crimean War, 1853 to 1856, exposed Russia's weaknesses, as it struggled against the technologically superior Western European powers. This led to the implementation of key reforms, including the emancipation of the serfs in 1861 under Tsar Alexander II. The reform was meant to modernize Russia's economy but led to further discontent as freed peasants struggled with land shortages and heavy taxes. Economic and social struggles persisted, and the late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of revolutionary movements. The Russo-Japanese War, 1904–1905, was a significant blow to Russian prestige, demonstrating its military and political vulnerabilities. The war ended in a humiliating defeat, sparking mass protests and contributing to the 1905 revolution, which forced Tsar Nicholas II to implement limited political reforms, including the establishment of the State Duma, Russia's first representative government. However, the reforms were largely superficial, and discontent among workers, peasants, and intellectuals continued to grow. The fall of the Russian Empire. World War I, 1914–1918, was the final catalyst for the empire's collapse. Russia suffered massive losses, economic turmoil, and food shortages, fueling public discontent. The war drained national resources, and military defeats demoralized both soldiers and civilians. The February Revolution of 1917 led to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, ending over 300 years of Romanov rule. A provisional government briefly took control, but it failed to address the country's deep-rooted problems, including economic instability and continued war involvement. Later that year, the Bolshevik Revolution, led by Vladimir Lenin, overthrew the provisional government and established Soviet rule. The Bolsheviks promised peace, land, and bread, appealing to the war-weary and impoverished masses. The Russian Civil War, 1917–1922, followed, with the Red Army, the Bolsheviks, fighting against the White Army, anti-Bolsheviks, and various other factions. The Civil War devastated the country, leading to widespread destruction and famine. Ultimately, the Bolsheviks emerged victorious, and in 1922, the Soviet Union was officially established, marking the definitive end of the Russian Empire. Legacy of the Russian Empire. The Russian Empire left a lasting impact on global history. Its expansion shaped the geopolitical landscape of Eurasia, influencing borders and cultures that persist today. Russian literature, music, and art flourished during this period, producing renowned figures such as Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Pyotr Tchaikovsky. Scientific advancements and industrial developments, though uneven, contributed to Russia's long-term modernization efforts. However, its oppressive political system, reliance on autocracy, and failure to address social inequalities ultimately led to its downfall. The lessons of the Russian Empire's rise and fall continue to be studied today, serving as a historical example of how ambition, power, and governance challenges can shape the fate of great nations. The transition from empire to Soviet state marked a new chapter in Russia's history, one that would continue to influence global politics for decades to come.